your kind. If you think I look okay, see me the next day. Can't you realize I see you through your disguise? Every move you make, I'll be standing here while observing you. Won't you feel okay? Tell her my soul tonight. Don't say I'm not your kind. If you think I look okay, see me the next day. Can't you realize I see you through your disguise? Every move you make, I'll be standing here while observing you. Won't you feel okay? Or stuck up and feeling moody, the onus is on you. Whoa, the feeling's just electrifying, making your own way bust. Why can't you understand me? Just look and you see, ma. Tell her my soul tonight. Don't say I'm not your kind. If you think I look okay, see me the next day. Can't you realize I see you through your disguise? Every move you make, I'll be standing here while observing you. Won't you feel okay?
Yeah, thank you for all the helpful advice. Check the connections, plug it in, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Thank you very much. Hello, Monica. Beanie's here. Thank you, Benny. Sorry, Benny. Beanie. Whoa, wow. That was loud in my headphones. Wow, that suddenly came charging through. Hang on, I could hear that from here, and my headphones are over there somewhere, so just... Yeesh.
Guten Abend, Moni.
Right, okay, yeah, I don't need these headsets, actually. This is what we should have done, Arnie. You need to listen to those. I can't hear anyway. It's just me talking. It's confusing if I can hear myself with a lag on it, so... You want to plug your headphones in here?
Yeah, I'd like to swap my headphones, please.
Alright, sorry about this, folks. Just give us 1 minute just to swap everything over. Just me talking. It's confusing if I can hear myself with a lag on it. There we are. See, with the lag, you get the double thing. Right, let's try again. Hello and welcome. As you all know me by now. I'm Ross from Britain's Hidden History. Arnie is producing the show tonight, and it's all actually on his computer. Normally you see me tapping away and pressing things and doing stuff. Not tonight. My computer is just basically a tripod to put the camera on and something for me to see the comments. David, again with us, which is fantastic. Noswith, yes, we'll be... going over later to, well, go through the show tonight. The focus of the show tonight, as you know from the trailer, is all about the Ark of the Covenant. Oh, sorry, Arnie's displaying that. Oh, because his headphones in my computer. Right, we're all about the Ark of the Covenant today, which is the most amazing story. We're going to follow it through some clips from the Bible, just to give some context. So what I want to do is, I keep getting questions repeatedly over the last few weeks, particularly for some reason, about what date did the Ark move, what date was the migration, what's the evidence. So I thought it's about time we started pulling it together, because we also have, of course, from last week, that brilliant drone footage, and David's got some more pictures and stuff to show us on that. So what we're going to do, I'm going to try and do a quick summary of the background, the story going way back to roughly 790 BC. That's where we're going to start from, although, well, technically... the time of the Exodus, we go back to about 1400, 1360 BC, something like that. Because the story behind the Ark, as you probably already know, about to know, is this is where the holy tablets were kept. Ark basically means a box. So the story being that Moses went up the mountain, he got the 10 Commandments, or his covenant with God. The covenant was in stone, and it was kept in the Ark. All right, this is where... this is the Ark we're tracing. We trace it all the way around through, and as it migrates with the Hebrews, with the 12 tribes, where does it end up? Where's it gone? Well, the evidence that Wilson and Blackett have followed through, which we're going to look at tonight, is it ended up in South Wales, in a place called, strangely enough, the place of the Ark, Ynys Bull. Alright, or Ynys Bull, as it is now. Right, so everyone can hear me now, that's good. Lighting's looking good. Let's have a look. Well, so hello, David and Arnie. Thank you very much. That's Patricia in Canada. We got Hugh. We can hear us great. Hey, Robert Pierce is back. Good. We've got Legolas is here. Monica from Germany. Well, an international gathering this is, isn't it? Yes, well done, Arnie. Thank you, Patrick. Hope the music. Yeah, the music stopped now, I think. That's right, isn't it? Yeah. No, I've been told since last week that Warren there, or Mr... I think Mini Caldwell is obviously a professional musician, so that must be quite painful. But anyway, alright, so hi everyone. Let's just see who have I missed so far. Terry Benkins, yep, hello. Right, so, we got there? John Windsor as well. Oh, good. I heard from you a long time ago, John. Good to see you. So excellent. So we're giving people's chance to log on. We've already got a good number of people online already. So without further ado... This is going to be the moment of truth from my ever-alert producer. Let's go to... see if this works, shall we? You're going to try the... We need to get the PowerPoint on screen.
The PowerPoint?
Yeah, the PowerPoint on screen. That's it. Full screen for that.
And...
F2. We'll start with the sharing, yes. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run through the story. Oh, sorry, yeah. And then once we've done all the Ark of the Covenant stuff, there are a couple of news things about what's happened this week. We're going to do those at the end, all right? So this is the format. I hate to crack on, okay? Yay, look at that. Beautiful graphics there. So from the Assyria to the Bull. Because those of us who live quite near to Ynys Bull always call it the Bull. It's very rarely called Anis a bull. You say, I come from the bull, or he's up from the bull. Because that's the modern spelling. Anis, place, bull. Doesn't mean anything in modern Welsh, really. But if you get your old dictionaries out and have a look, Anis a bill, which is the original, that's the place of the Ark, alright? So I'm going to go through this fairly speedy, okay? So I might do another follow-up. Any questions, please pop them up on the comments. I'll do my best as we go through. I will get through that, and then we'll see all the cameras. Yep, Monica, say hello to you, David, as well. So David can see that and give a wave. Right. So I need... Oh, hang on, I'm going to have to use your keyboard a bit here, Arnie, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so the original story is this dramatic story. Now, this is portrayed like this, as you see in countless movies, the Ten Commandments, all this kind of stuff, where the Hebrews escaping from Egypt, whether escaping or being kicked out or they're leaving, whatever it is. That's a lot more detail about that in the Moses and the Hieroglyphics book. And we could go through all that. It seems very unlike what we normally told, and the place where they crossed, all that kind of thing is explored. But that, as they say, is for another show. The point we're getting to is this where I need to use your mouse now, Arnie. I'll reach over a little bit. Whoa. Excuse me. And I can't see the mouse here. This is the Red Sea down here, okay? So for those, for all of us, whether you're familiar with the area or not, it does help to have a map. So we're coming out, here's the Red Sea, and you got various theories to crossing points and where they went and all that. That's not what we're discussing tonight. The point is, from Egypt, they can then go up into what's modern called Israel, Lebanon, Jordan, all these places towards Syria. And there we have the area where Canaan would have been in biblical times. You'll have to excuse me, I have an allergic reaction to something. I know it is as well, but there we are. Happens sometimes. So excuse me sniffing. Right, okay, the other thing was, before that, if you're looking at the ancient Assyria, and if you look at Iraq on the map here, this is where you have the joining of the Euphrates and the Tigris, and all these ancient, the birthplace of civilization and everything. So the tribe, which in the Bible will become the Hyksos, which is the very powerful, actually. They kind of give this image when we go to church of being peaceful shepherds just wandering around with their sheep, not minding any trouble to anyone. But read your Bible, it's all in there. They were very powerful and warlike people. And at some point, as again, we'll go through the other story, when we look further at this story, if people want me to do it at some point, is Joseph gets appointed as some sort of viceroy, and he becomes the commander of Egypt, and he gets put in charge of this area. Today, we think of all this massive, open desert area and everything as being this huge country of Egypt. It looks very large and imposing on the map. And I've had the pleasure of covering most of it and driving around it all the way out off the map here up to this, here, Siwa, the Oasis, all these places. It's fabulous, but most of it is nothing really. The area that's of interest is the Delta, which is supposedly where the Greek letter delta comes from. So it looks like a sort of upside down triangle, which is what this is. And I know it looks upper on your screen, this is the lower Nile, okay? Because the Nile obviously runs south to north. Okay, so this is the area where they are put in charge of, okay? And this is one of the confusing points because I don't want to get too much sidetracked here, but the building and everything, the real start of I would argue, the hieroglyphs as well, the pyramids, the temples. One of these things you often see people talk about is, hey, how is it? There's no earlier attempts, there's no earlier buildings, there's no half-built mastabas and brick buildings. How did they just suddenly could build a pyramid? And then you get all sorts of conjecture and theories about aliens and lost civilizations, whatever. None of which I'm going to comment on, might be true, whatever. But what has happened in this situation, another explanation which seems more plausible, I would argue, is it was this point, about 2000 BC, 2100 BC, that Egypt, this area, got wrapped into the Assyrian Empire and was part of that. It was a client kingdom. And Joseph, the story, if you look at it closely, you can see there he's put in charge to run it due to the emperor being absent. And this might seem ridiculous, looking back at it, but as I know Wilson and Blackett put in their books, it would also look ridiculous if you were to come from some time in the future after some terrible disaster and you were doing archaeology in India and you're finding all these statues to Queen Victoria. And if someone said to you, actually, well, she was thousands of miles away, this little island, with this tiny island country, thousands of miles away, was running all of India. That seems ridiculous. And when you see all the writing on the statues in English and the government houses in English and this kind of thing, that would seem crazy. Because but the incorrect assumption would be that the language and the culture, the buildings come from Egypt. And if you go back then and follow back to Assyria, that's when you do find the earlier forms of attempting to build pyramids and mastabas and burial areas. And that's where you can see the development of the building. All right, so just want to cover that quickly. Before we move up then into the Israel area, and I've just got, let's go a little bit closer. And again, when we're streaming, the arrow sometimes disappears. So this area. So what I can look at then is the movements from this area where the Assyrians, the deal has been done with to run Egypt. That's been run, it's been taxed if you look at it in the Bible, and eventually they've left, taken everything with them, and they're trying to settle to this area. And one theory is that the reason for it being called the Promised Land was that maybe this some sort of deal they did with the Assyrian emperor. You look after Egypt, and afterwards you get this bit of land here. Now, with obviously the controversial area of Israel and Jordan and Palestine, all these places. Actually, I can't see Palestine on this map. Oh dear, sorry about that. No offence meant. It's a very random map I just downloaded. Right, okay, so we come up here, and the migration takes them up through this area. Through the Caucasus, sorry, my mind went blank for a second. And up to where they settled in this area, and above that, you have the Dardanelles, and some people say that's the tribe of Dan, the Dardanelles, and we come on to that as well in a minute. And you'll see this crucial area where the Trojan War took place. So I'm going to look around something to see the screen. Which is this very crucial isthmus, this narrow strait where it connects the Mediterranean and the Western world to the Black Sea, and then on up to these major rivers in Russia, the Don and rivers like that. And the other thing we want to bring attention to is up in the top corner there, you've got Armenia. Thank you, David. My mouse was trapped on something. Anyway, you've got Armenia, and you've got Georgia and those places where, if you look at them, you'll find enormous cultural similarities with the Cymry and with Wales. And if you look at the workings of the likes of E.O. Gordon in the Black Sea here, you've got the Crimea coming down, and I'll show you something later which shows the Crimea might actually be a corruption of the word Cymry, and that's where the name comes from. All right, so there, yes, monarchy, yes, Hyksos, the foreign rulers. I don't know about invading the Pharaohs. I said they got invited in to run the country, but there we go. Google removed Palestine from its maps 5 weeks ago. Thank you for pointing that out. I thought it was strange. I did this map today, and Palestine has it's ever shrinking, but it's gone completely from here. This sort of area, I suppose, it would be. That's a strange one. Anyway, sorry about that. Let's not get into current politics. Okay, so what we're going to do is then I'm going to quote, this is extensively quoted from Wilson and Blackett's work, okay? So we got here, whereas I had my whole script on this computer. This is where I get to be clever now, with two computers. Bob, bob, bob. Right, let's check. So anyway, there. The story begins on Mount Sinai, where the Hebrews encamped after their escape across the Red Sea. So we just see the maps for that. When the seas withdrew, only to return with a tremendous rush, and the pursuing Pharaoh's army was destroyed. We go into that in more detail another time. But this is the time in work at about 1360 BC. And at Sinai, Moses, having twice been given tablets of laws by the God Yahweh, was instructed to make an ark. And this is the box we're talking about today. Biblical records details the pattern dictated by Yahweh to Moses and passed on to the artisans. So this is the details, okay? So you can read this yourself, pause it. But it gives you a rough idea. We're talking 45 inches long. So that's just under 4 feet. So it's not enormous. Well, I can just about reach that far, I think. There we go. So this is the size of the box, alright? I'm not sure how much you can see on the camera. And then about just over half that wide. And the box is similar height. So you're talking about a sizable box. It's not enormous. It's that sort of size. According to the Bible account of it. And then you've got the winged creatures of gold hammered into the corners. Now, something I want to talk more about. I'll try and get it at the end. depends on the time's doing, is there's always been a local legend in Wales about this box, somewhere north of Cardiff, with this is the cherubs guarding it. The cherubs are those lovely things we see on Renaissance paintings, little chubby babies smiling down and playing trumpets and stuff. These were these nasty, ferocious, winged creatures that were there to defend and would attack and destroy anybody who came near the Ark. Maybe even a connection with the Welsh dragon, because they do look quite similar when you think about it. Alright, so let's go back to the Bible again quickly. I just want to... the other thing I want to mention there is that Jeremiah, if you look at Jeremiah, Israel will join with Judah, and together they will come from exile in the country in the north and will return to the land that I, God, gave to you. This is the promised land we're talking about again. So we'll come back to that in a second. Okay, so you can stop and read these. Not just read out word for word, it's on the screen if you want to read it themselves. But the point is, Moses called Aaron, the leaders, to him and explained to them that what the ark was there for. And he never removed his veil from his face unless he accompanied the ark. And we'll come on to reasons why for that again. Right, he's put the veil back on until the next time when he spoke with the Lord. Within a few weeks of the tablets being placed inside the newly made ark and the travelling tent shrine being erected, the ark killed 2 priests. And this is something I want to bear in mind, and you can check these readings. It's a very dangerous thing. All the stories of it throughout the Bible talk about people being killed and it causing great fear, and the particular family needed to look after it. And what secrets they knew and why it was deadly, well, that's something that we have to think about, really, and see if we come up with any ideas about that, okay? Alright, so Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, each took his fire pan and put live coals in it, added incense and making sweet offerings to God, and presented it to the Lord. But this fire was not holy, and the Lord had not commanded them to present it. Suddenly the Lord set fire and burnt them to death in the presence of the Lord. So this is a situation which Moses seems to have invited and explained to them, unless you follow the proper procedures, you're going to get burnt here, okay? That's right, pictures. There are pictures coming, okay? It's not just text. I thought the pictures are coming soon on this. And they got various things which you can look up these Bible references yourself, look through them. I've got them all marked out to read from the Bible, but I think people will see more interested to see the drone shots and the photographs. The point is that what we're trying to do is follow this ark, because it's absolutely crucial, the story of it and where it went to. So the winged creatures are on there, it's been made, and the key part is it's very dangerous, and it also has to be moved as part of the people. This is very important. Anyways, watch the Alan Wilson videos. He does this fantastically, where he talks about them walking around following the little box from place to place. And this is the Ark of the Covenant. Now, where it gets a bit more interesting, controversial, if you like. So, and this was amazing. I'll actually just look this up. You can read it yourself in Numbers. When King Uzziah went into the Jerusalem temple with a metal incense burner, he was immediately stricken down in what was diagnosed as leprosy, another skin complaint. We've got more examples about this. In the end, it became only the clan of Kohath of Levi were allowed to carry it from the temple. So why could they do it? They have particular protective clothing, perhaps? See, I've always had a feeling with no real, I thought radioactive. I can see some comments. Excellent. This is what I want to see. When did the Ark arrive in the Bull? We get on to that. Now, the second migration with Brutus, which we'll get on to in a minute. I would have thought radioactive. Hugh was saying magnetic. I'm not sure how magnetic would give people the kind of skin conditions. Because we have another story as well. When it moves to Shiloh, the tablet records just such journeys with a little cabinet or ark, riding its cart and leading 2 successive migrations. So one under Moses of Egypt around 1360, and the other out of the north of Assyria in circa 690. Alright, I can see why the comments come up. A little bit confusion. The migration in 1360 is not to Britain, okay? This is the migration up to where I showed you what's now known as the Holy Land. And from there we go, and from there much later, hundreds of years later, that's when they leave north out of above Haran and up into the Caucasus, and then on from there. A second, I was a bit keen with the buttons. So the final place of settlement there was the Hebrews finally settled in Old Canaan, and the covenant box was kept at Shiloh. So Shiloh is an interesting place. You want to look into that as well when you have a chance. So if you look up there, I think in some of the books it says 2 Samuel, but if you're looking for it, it's definitely 1 Samuel, chapter 3, verses 3 and 4, okay? I'll just quickly do that. Gosh, I feel like church now. I'll read from the Bible now. Okay. And this is where it talks about, it's an important part because this is where they lost the ark to the Philistines. So the Israelites went out to fight against... Yeah. Sorry. There we go. And this is where we get to see this character. See if anyone knows who this is, okay? Because the Israelites camped at Ebenezer and the Philistines at Aphek. The Philistines deployed their forces to meet Israel. And as the battle spread, Israel was defeated by the Philistines, who killed about 4,000 of them on the battlefield. When the soldiers returned to camp, the elders of Israel asked, "Why did the Lord bring defeat to us today before the Philistines? Let us bring the ark of the Lord's covenant from Shiloh, so that he may go with us and save us from the hand of our enemies." This is the crucial bit. So the people sent men to Shiloh, and they brought back the ark of the covenant of the Lord Almighty, who is enthroned between the cherubim, the cherubs I was talking about, the bird type things, with or dragons, and Eli's 2 sons, Hophni and Phinehas, who were there with the ark of the covenant of God. And what happens here, this is the Philistine god, those who got it correct, excuse me, who has, haven't got the name there? That's Dagon anyway, Dagon, okay? Hello Craig, people joining all the time, you're still here in time. I think there are temples in India which have such devices which are radioactive and have mysterious power. And that's from Raider. Quite possibly. So what we have there, this is the dragon, the god Dagon. And what happens then is we have to create this new place for the ark. And if anyone recognises this one, give you a chance to answer quickly. And I will read the background to it. Okay. Hang on a second, let's make sure I check it right. Hang on, I'm back up, I got my notes here. Boom, 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 I've jumped ahead a bit. Right, so here we go, yes, the family, right, so okay, it was then taken to Kiriath Jearim, and Abinabad, son of Eleazar, was consecrated to take charge of it. And then when David became king, he decided to have it brought to Jerusalem. So at the threshing floor of Nacon, the oxen drawing the cart stumbled. So I think that's why maybe you can see there's cows on this, interesting. And the ark was in danger of falling and swaying from the cart. In haste, a man named Uzzah reached out to prevent the ark from falling and was immediately struck dead. More dead people. After this further demonstration of trouble, King David changed his mind and he sent the ark to the house of Obed-Edom in Gath, and there was tranquility. So the reason I keep mentioning this is because when we come to Anisabul, which we'll get to soon, it is curious to me that it's buried in a massive mound under a big pile of earth. I do wonder if, this is significant. We need to be really, really careful and bear in mind this may be something we shouldn't disturb, okay? So I'm not encouraging anybody to do that. There's already been ground penetrating work done, and we'll look at that and the site itself in a minute, okay? So anyway, 3 months after the ark was brought to Jerusalem and installed in its tent there, biblical history relates how Solomon, son of David, built a temple in Jerusalem. And at its core he erected a strong vault in which he installed the ark. Immediately after Solomon's death, his kingdom split into 2 parts. So the tribes of Judah and Benjamin were ruled by, I'll say this slowly, Rehoboam in Judea, and the 10 tribes of Israel were ruled by Jeroboam. And then 5 years later, this is the next one I'm going to talk about. Sorry, I've got the slide slightly out of order here. The Pharaoh Shishak entered Judea with his armies. Solomon's richly furnished temple in Jerusalem was stripped of its wealth by the Pharaoh Shishak around 930 BC. So we're up to 930 now, okay? So this is the gap between the two migrations: the 1360 migration, and then the migration 700 BC, or a little bit later. Okay. And I've got who Shishak is and everything. You can look him up. So when there it is. So when Shishak entered Judea with his armies, he basically stripped the temple. That's about 930 BC. And it didn't seem to make any attempt to remove the Ark from its sanctuary. This is probably because its reputation of killing people. As it puts by Wilson and Blackett, they're aware of the fearsome reputation. And it seems that Rehoboam handed over the valuable gold and silver implements of the temple and its accumulated wealth, and they basically paid him off. They gave him all the gold, all the silver, and got him out of there. So for over a century later, King Joash of Judea took the funds and treasures of the Jerusalem temple for his own treasury. Then his son Amaziah became a pagan and worshipped Edomite idols. And this brings us to the important biblical story where King Amaziah the pagan, whose father Joash had robbed the Jerusalem temple. He planned to make his war on King Jehoash of Israel and foolishly refused to listen to warnings. Okay, so you've got the official guardians, and then we come to the war, and I think we spend too long on this, but I want to give people an idea of the timescales. So keep getting asked, when was this? So King Jehoash took the Ark to the city of Samaria around 790 BC, and then supported by a huge bribe, the Assyrian Emperor Tiglath-Pileser III, or Pul, which is a lot easier to say, attacked Israel around 740 BC. So we still know where the Ark is. This is the point. We still know where the Ark is. It's now moved to Samaria. Alright. Last couple of quotes before we get on to the Wikipedia's false, is biased. Alright, okay. Quite possibly, yeah. Sorry about this. I just want to point out the quotes I'm using here, not from Wikipedia. I just lifted a couple of pictures because they tend to be public domain. There's no copyright issues or anything, okay? Okay, so we took so all the loot's gone. Now, right, so what we're looking at for now, if you can remember the original map, it's round about the 740 to 690 BC when they started moving north and west up towards the Dardanelles. Okay. They put the Sacred Covenant box in the temple, and then you're no longer to carry it from place to place, but to serve the Lord your God and his people Israel, in 2 Chronicles. We'll come on to that in a second. But then, no choice but to take the box with him and bring it. You'll see the other references to that, okay? Let's get there. Excuse me. So around 734 BC, as you'll see in 2 Chronicles, it records that Pekah killed 120,000 Judean soldiers and deported 200,000 women and children. So the people are getting deported, they're getting moved around. And we're moving further and further north, and this is where we start to get to the era now where we're actually in modern day Turkey, around that area, or Anatolia as it's called. So for between 734 and 700 BC, the majority of the 10 tribes of Israel were then deported right up to the north, and then from there, when there was some battling in that, they fought and made their chance to escape into Anatolia. So I'm running through this very quickly. I would highly, highly, highly recommend watch the Alan Wilson lecture from Ark 3, which is on the channel. You can find it in Alan Wilson Speaks. Hope you notice all the videos are now sorted out into categories. Much easier to find what you're looking for. And you can hear the whole hour and a half thing all about this, okay? So the Ark went north with the Israelite deportations to Armenia. So Armenia still has claims to being the first Christian country in the world. You got Georgia next to it. All those things are possible. And then it was used to lead the people on their long track westward, all the way through those mountain chains, the distant Dardanelles, alright? We get to the key point now. The Ark was definitely not in the temple, which Josiah was trying to repair and build, and he wanted it returned if the Levites had it. There's a part of the Bible where this is the reason for the quote being there: bring the box back and put it in Jerusalem, put it in the temple. But they refused, which makes it very clear The ark is no longer in Jerusalem. It is moving with the people. So they're going to move with that. And Jeremiah was basically calling for the box to be brought back and say, you will not need this. And the people won't talk about the covenant box. Bring it back to Jerusalem. Excuse me. But as Jeremiah said, Israel will join with Judah, and together they will come from exile in the country of the north and return to the land that I, your God, gave to your ancestors. But Jeremiah was wrong. They did not go back. They kept on moving, and the box was never returned. Now, one of the books you need to look at then is Maccabees, book 2 in the Apocrypha, because that tells about the tent used to surround the ark and lots of things. But unfortunately, this is called Apocrypha because it's not in most of the Bibles. It's not in the Protestant Bible. These things have been taken out. What time are we up to? Oh, I've got to move on. We're 25 to. Anyway, what I want to do is just say that, and a quick description. And I mentioned here, I got the Wilson and Blackett quote about the North Cardiff areas. And people used to go out with metal detectors trying to find this box. And they're looking for a great wooden chest that contains a fabulous treasure. This box is guarded by 2 giant ravens. So in Welsh, we're looking at the Cig Fran Gawr, flesh-eating crows, or giants. And it's not difficult to imagine that these guardian Cig Fran Gawr as the golden cherubim on the lid of the ark, with their wings outstretched across the box. Okay, so what I was doing there was give a little bit of background, just to show how we get to the point of the ark being in Anatolia. And then we talked about in other videos, and I could do it another time. You then have the situation where half the people, presumably taking advantage of the chaos after the Trojan Wars around 650, half go up into Italy, Etruria, people of the 3 rivers in Welsh, and become Etruscans, Etruria. And then a few generations later, Aeneas has gone to set the Etruscans, and then Brutus comes back, collects the people from Anatolia around 500 BC, and that's the migration which comes to South Wales and brings the ark with them. So, sorry about that. It's very hard to do this one quickly because you're talking about a 2,000 year journey. And I'm trying desperately hard to make it reduce, but then people always ask questions afterwards for the details. So I hope that's helped, okay? I can see the chat's going on there. Yeah, we'll come on to the John D later, Monica. Thank you for letting me know about that. I have got it loaded up to go on there. There we go. Alright, so what I'm doing now is come back into Wales. So I'm going to bring David in more as well in a second. What we actually, I'm not sure what we're seeing on the screen. Oh yeah, still seeing me in the corner. Okay. Right, what I'm going to do now is look at... the first thing is a curious thing which gave the first clues as to what's going on with Two in a Glow and It's a Bull. Now, if you've read Wilson and Blackett's books, you'll be quite aware of this, okay? But here we have on the screen, which way am I pointing on your screen? That way? It's all a bit weird, I can't see myself. What this shows you here is if you go to Google Earth, you have the HASL, or ASL as shown on the diagram here, which is the height above sea level. Other terms are used in other books. I know in the military there's other terms. But what we're looking at here, if you go onto Google Earth and you follow it, you can see the height above sea level. If you follow it through, for example, in this one here, the pyramids, as you reach the pyramid, you would expect the height to go up by umpteen 100 feet, that being the height of the pyramid. But actually the opposite happens. As you'll see in a minute, the height comes down. And the reason is, what Google Earth, however it works, what it's doing is finding the level of the basement. The man-made structure doesn't count, okay? And there's lots of examples you can do on this. We can do it with pyramids there. So the Google reading, if you look at the bottom map, it actually shows minus 260 feet. Whereas it should be showing much higher, maybe 480 feet being the height of the pyramid, all right? So that's quite fascinating. So what this allows people to do, and I would like everybody to try this, from your homes, you can be all over the world, doesn't matter where you are, and you say, oh, I wish I could get to these sites and check them, I wish I could get to Two in a Glow, all this kind of stuff. That's great. And if you ever come to Wales, I'm happy to show you around, take you there. All that kind of thing is fantastic, all right? But what we need is more people from home trying out things like this. We don't have to go there at all. Just find it on the map, check the elevations. And what you'll find then is that if you do it very carefully, And this is Pete Sunman who discovered this first, so well done, Pete. He gets a mention in the books. This is original sketch done by Alan Hassel, who's sadly missed from this effort. He did a lot of the LiDAR stuff, you might be aware of, the ground-penetrating work, working out where the chamber was, where the treasure was, all those kind of things. And he also produced these sketches, which I've just updated the text to make it a bit easier to read. Put some new print on. It's his original sketch, it's his work, okay? So this is an example of what happens when you get to 2 in a glow, okay? So if you look at the height above sea level, the Google Earth satellite reading, it shows you that the mound actually levels off here. It doesn't get any higher. Hang on, my computer's playing up. I just need to unplug something over here. Alright. This extra part does not appear on the Google Earth scan. This is the crucial thing here. So you get your extra, what was that, 60 feet? 902, 962. There should be another 60 feet. The reading should go up. It doesn't, okay? And we got other examples with Silbury Hill. I'm not sure I loaded that one up or not. So what you do here is a schematic side-on of what's going on with 2 in a glow, alright? So there's the man-made top section, which we're going to look at in great detail. You'll see David's got pictures and video and all sorts we're going to go through. The wall which runs around it. And the other thing we're going to look at is, for one, there's a spoil heap, which is looking for tunnels. And also drainage sumps, which is where it gets interesting, okay? And the reason is, I've talked about this before, I just wanted to recap it, as there's a diagram which I've sort of recreated, one of Alan Hassel's diagrams, well done him, just to show in graphic terms how it works. So here's your hilltop, or more likely your artificial mound on top of a hill. And the problem is your chamber is going to fill up with water and everything's going to get ruined, okay, over time. So what we do then is, so the idea is you put a hole in the bottom of the room, and then this tunnel you've dug and filled with stones. And one of the curious things you might not be aware of about the drainage sump in Anderson Bull is when some of these stones were taken away, it was found there were 3 different types of stone, and they got a unique property in that weeds don't seem to grow on them. Because your concern would be this slowly clogging up. If your drainage tunnel clogs up with weeds or whatever, and the water can't escape, just like with your sink in the house or your bathroom, the water can back up and you've got a problem, you have to clear it. Well, this has been there, well, we would argue sometime after 500 BC, who knows when, so it's well over 2,000 years, and it hasn't clogged up, which is very strange. And the stones they've chosen, the tests that have been done show that they come from Cornwall. So someone's made the effort to bring these stones all the way from Cornwall and use them to line the tunnels, because they know that they will not weed up or clog up. So the water would come from there down, and then it hooks back up into what's called a sump, alright? This is like a sort of a bowl, or you'll see this shape against the side of the mountain. This is crucial. I really want you to concentrate and look at this, because we're going to look for examples of this. And this slope, this whole area there will need to be filled in with stones. So the stones might be there, they might be more vertical, they might come across here. Over time, people take stones and things like that. But the idea is the water will now trickle out, because this is like a big dish. So rather than pouring down the hill, eroding it, this getting smaller and smaller, it will trickle out all the sides. And then you see this on our field trips when we go places. This is what we look for first, the sumps. And then we also look to see if there's quite often a drainage ditch or a stream or something where the water would leave the area completely. Alright, so that's the kind of explaining how it works. I just did that. Alright, so what we've done then, just did before I hand over. This map's a bit too zoomed in. So what they've done, just to recap with the journey, we've gone originally from Assyria. The Hyksos have moved in to Egypt, come back out. They're being referred to, as some people say, it's the of Imri, was a Q, so Q Imri, Kimri, being that way of getting the roots of the Cymry. Back up through here, and then they've been deported throughout the sort of 900, 800, 700s. They've been moved around. And about 740 BC, they've been deported here towards the top, up towards Haran. And then the bit I didn't go through all the details of, but Wilson and Blackett are brilliant at, is all the politics taking place in Assyria, and how the son is deposing the father and the brothers are killing each other, and the whole thing's a mess. And it seems they've taken this opportunity to get out of the Assyrian Empire, and they've gone up here towards Armenia, up that way, and then they began their migration west, and they've ended up in this area. And I would argue that they were probably the Luwians that people do research on. And you can see here metalworking culture, you can see the same sort of style of buildings, all this kind of stuff. And then, strangely, these people miraculously disappear, and everyone's scratching their heads. Well, let's go with the British history and say that's the Cymry then. They disappear, and they've gone some to Italy, some to Britain. Alright, so there you go. So I hope that wasn't too much a whistle-stop tour. Alright, okay. Oh yeah, this is a link. You can't possibly write all that down. I'll try and copy and paste or something, okay? This is something I'll talk about later in Monica's stuff. But this one I want to look at, because it does show David Morgan's, just by coincidence, I don't know, before tonight's video. It's very useful. And it shows all the place names in that area. Around, sorry, I need the bigger map, because I need to show the Black Sea. Anyway, around the Black Sea, you've got Crimea, and this place is called Kimmeroy, because the Greeks at this point then call them the Kimmeroy as they pass through. Kimmeroy, Kimry. It all sounds very similar, okay? Algae doesn't grow on these stones. Yeah, I'm just going to find out what's happening on the comments. Because we're going to get ready. You can get ready, Arnie, for and David. We're going to go over to the pictures, the videos, all that kind of stuff. So why don't we put it on me a second, so people just look at me while we get the computer lined up. Right, let's have a look at this.
Okay.
There's loads of comments. I just want to look up there. The Kimbroggi were Arthur's warriors. I don't know who the Kimbroggi are. That's from John. Right, the more we pry into this, especially Alan and Barham's work and the people that worked on this beforehand, the more it becomes interesting and hard to dismiss. It's true, Anthony, yeah. It's all very well researched. It's all backed up. And you can, get your Bibles out. Most of this in the Bible. It explains. I didn't give all the references, but I've been reading through it. And I'd recommend... well, obviously you've got first book of Samuel. Book of Numbers is worth reading. For the history now, okay? I'm not preaching religion here particularly, okay? You can take your own views on that. I'm not against it, for it, or anything. That's not what this is about. I also want to just emphasise as well, in the last few weeks, Britain's Hidden History, in case anyone's concerned, has no political agenda, alright? I'm not associated with any political party, nor movement, anything like that. I've got my own views, my own beliefs, and things I'm interested in. And I know people who are looking at this also do. But that's not what they're there to discuss, right? Those things are kept to yourself. They're kept private. This is a history group, okay? We're trying to work out what happened there. So anyway, I say Chronicles, also Chronicles, a lot of this, and Samuel. And I'll try and put a reading list in the description. Okay.
Screen share?
Screen share. You would go for screen share, says Arnie. Or do you want to... Yeah, go on in. Do you want to jump into this seat, David?
No, I'll sit in between.
You're going to sit in between. I just put the microphone. You to talk up a little bit.
You're the skilled narrator.
Oh, well, no.
Just
I'm
move
handing
the
over to you
cursor.
now. Let's hope you can see us all.
Well, there we
Yeah,
are.
come forward a bit, David, so we can see you. That's why I'll move the camera this way. There you go.
Here we
And
are.
I shall just be the microphone holder.
About 350 metres above Tywynna Glow. You can see the wall, the dry stone walling, and what would be the flat surface, slightly different to that sketch you showed, and the mound here. We'll have a look at that in side profile later in the stills photo. I think, having been up there, bless you,
Sorry, yes, I tried off camera.
there could be 3 or 4 mounds up there, because there's a raised area here, same diameter of a lot of tumuli, and also here 3 or 4. But here we see the stone filled sumps, and around the other side we'll see later on the drone footage is the scree fall, the rubble where it's either been tunnelled, and below that in the stream that's at the base of the hill are some more sumps that are in really good nick. They look like the end of stone, dry stone walls sticking out the side, and if we can
great overhead shot there,
find another image. Yeah, that's this circle here is the main mound on top with the stone dead on the centre, and we can also see the sumps here. And Alan mentions this in his book, Something's been dragged up and down a long time ago.
Or possibly on this side, wasn't it?
Yeah, and here down the bottom, this is the tunnel entrance where there's a hell of a lot of rubble falling down there, and some more sumps. I think the sumps go all the way around, and the stream is just about here. So when I went up there, this is where most of them were, and we'll see the same sort of rock that's on top of
Yeah,
Minute
so
Care
those
as
trees
well.
and stream, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, can we take this off so I can?
Oh, just click again. What do you do? Jump into video, is it?
Not yet. Just see. Pick another picture to show.
Okay.
How do I do that? That one there?
Oh, there's got a little
No,
folder, I
folder.
think. That's it.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, hover over it, and yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Is this going out now? Is it?
You know, you can click on a different one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is for the live stream, is it?
Yeah.
You could put one in the presentation for you, it'd be easier, wouldn't it? That's alright, take your time. It's good stuff. So we had a folder ready for this show, didn't we? Oh, there we go.
So we're just going to take off from a hill right next to the glow.
Yeah. There's me. Oh, not overdoing it.
This is the dead ground in between where the stream is. Well, roughly the west side of it here. The stream and lower sumps down here. They're like the ends of dry stone walls. But why would they be going into the side of the hill at 90 degrees with water streaming out of them? I'll have a look at a photograph of that lifted from a smartphone clip I did down there. It's very shaky, but we've managed to lift one nice sharp shot out of it. There's the rubble
pictures.
field that Alan mentions, and a possible stone. The sumps filled in with stone here. Now we can see the shape of the mound that doesn't register on Google Earth, and the other one here, and another one behind it. But this is the main one that we're interested in, stone on top. Now you know something about the LiDAR there, and what was...
Yeah, well, when they went up there, I mean, this is the details. They're supposed to go up there with Alan Hassel and done a ground penetrating survey and found there's definitely a chamber there. Yeah. No, we're not there. That's not us walking on the toy, by the way. If anyone knows who they are, they can say hello to us. You're not really meant to go up there, so obviously we're doing this remotely with a drone. Just to clarify, isn't it? I can't validate that.
We see some more drainage here. These are the stone-filled sumps. They're kind of equidistant to be a natural occurrence, just looking at things like this.
I think what I was saying, there could be 4 or 5 chambers was the idea, wasn't it? Otherwise, at least 4 or 5 tunnels running off. That's
now we're looking back towards the lionstone, which is in that field just there. 1,700 and something meters from the limestone to the top, to the stone on the top of the glog.
Is that less than a mile then? Is it?
I think it's just over a mile.
Okay. Yeah, and for the just to explain then, because the connection obviously of the lion, this is the people of Judea. Their sign is the lion. You know, they're the Lion of Judea, and there's a massive stone up there that looks like a lion. It's pointing straight at 2 in a glow, isn't it? Where the ark could be done.
10 to 9.
Pardon?
10 to 9.
That's right. I couldn't do that a bit any quicker.
Right, I'll stop this one here because this is the drone just climbing up now to about 400 meters to take an overall plan shot of the whole of the thing. So save that. And here we have the stone wall around the side of the glog, and here we see the mound on top. It doesn't register any height, and another shot of it there.
Yeah, this is level with the wall sort of thing,
Yeah,
isn't it? So this is
facing roughly northwest here.
Yeah, 'cause I think the wall's
the limestone over there.
Yeah, the wall's 900 feet, and this should go up to 962, and it's still showing 902, isn't it?
It mounds slightly up from the walls, but then it flattens out, and this is the man-made on top.
Right, okay.
We'd like to have a look at the limestone now.
Yes, let's do the limestone then, yes.
Oh, wait a minute. There's
Oh, there's
one more image. That's from the top of the glog. The stones that we've seen in the shot. Looking down and looking back towards the limestone over there. Sorry about all the sheep poo. That was last week.
Well, it's an incredibly important site, obviously not protected or anything, is it? No. Did you want to see that drain there? Yeah, that one.
Yeah. This is down by the stream at the base of the natural part of the glog. There's 3 or 4 of these constructions going into the side of the hill, and you can see that it's definitely not natural, and they're also equidistant as well.
Yeah, what would be great is if you had proper. You've got to be really careful, because if these are drainage sumps, we don't want to. No one should touch these, alright? Just make that very clear. But also, you don't want to mess it up so the drainage, which has worked quite happily for over 2,000 years, suddenly doesn't work. But it would really be interesting to have some proper, somehow with, optic cables or scanning or something, just to see, if there is a tunnel behind there, and if it is a drainage tunnel leading to the top of the mountain, it's got to be of interest, surely. Right, what have we got here, David?
Halfway up the slope, and we see these rock protrusions equidistantly around this area as well, and it's the same sort of rock that's up on Mynydd Gerbi, with where the wallings and the cliffs are.
Oh, okay.
And it looks
Yeah, it does look very similar, doesn't it?
It looks kind of as if it's not just weathered, it's been affected by some great heat. And here's another wall a bit further down that we can't see when we're looking at the top.
Oh, so possibly it's been smashed up with the ties in with the comet
it's a second
theory,
wall. I
perhaps,
don't know if it's an old sheep wall, but why have the 2 walls there? And this continues for a long way around, and it's
they have almost
very,
melted,
very,
haven't they?
very, very old.
Because that in itself would be 1,500 years ago.
Oh, I won't go
Well,
there.
almost 1,400 and something.
Just have a quick look at that old sketch. That's the one that appears in one of Alan's books.
Yes, I guess another Alan Hassel sketch, I think.
Is it?
Yeah, I think so, yes.
That's the spoil heap there, and there's some sumps there, but I think they continue round, and there's also the ones down by the stream as well,
Yeah.
which he's missed.
No, I think you've done well. You found more drainage sumps than they did, yeah.
Right then, let's have a look at the limestone.
The Lionstone, yes. Let's first of all say, I hope people can see the line that's there. I mean, David just running around it there. You can see the face and the eye maybe, and an ear, and those big legs. It depends on the angle. I mean, to me, from all angles, it looks fantastic, like a lion. It's amazing, I think. Well, we got some video as well, haven't we? You want to show the video? What do you want to? Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Yes.
That's not very large, is it?
No, I think people get the idea though. It's all right.
That's from BHS. Somebody sent it.
Yeah, I
into
think
BHS.
Tim did that. I think
Oops.
might be Tim Lewis did that one. I'm not sure who did that one.
Oh dear, what's happened?
Oh, cancel.
Cancel.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, so just minimise that. That's the presentation I showed.
Minimise.
Yeah, just minimise. There you go. That's it. There's that fabulous picture of the 2 in a glow.
Oops.
Oh, don't X that. No. Minimise. That's what's making the broadcast work.
Minimise.
Yeah, the little dash.
It's not minimised. A minus.
Right.
That one there. Look. That one there. That's it.
How
No. Try again. This one. We've got to hit that. The line. Yeah, that's it. That runs the whole show up. Don't X that out. That'll be end of show. Just stop.
Right then.
This is why we've gone to the bigger computer. I can see the graphics card on there is working much better. We're not stalling. Everything's coming out nicely. So is the videos you want now? Or
Yeah, I'm just looking for the. Let's have a look at the. Look around the.
oh
side.
yeah, fabulous view. There's lion there. You see the majestic lion looking directly at 2 in a glow. He just points straight at it. I know it's supposed to be natural outcrop, isn't it? Not scheduled, protected, nothing.
And for all the people who have asked, why do we see it only from one side? Well, we're just going to pan round, and you'll see the face on the other side as well. When you scrape around down here, you can see that there's a hell of a lot of rock packed in there. But it's not just this flaky flat stuff, it's also huge chunks. And it's exactly 90 degrees. It's standing really vertically. And we see the mouth and the eyes here on
Yeah,
this
you're
much
right.
more weathered
You're
side.
right.
I think
It's more weather on this side,
is
but
where
yeah, why
something's
not?
been broken off because the weathering is a lot less there.
I know Tim and a couple of other people pointed out that bit at the
could
back,
be-
that could be the leg that goes
yeah,
on there.
on the back.
So again, mentioned to Craig Walters, who brought this to everyone's attention. Gives you a good view of it. What I'm going to try and do here with this shot now is show how perfectly it aligns to this man-made mound. So I mean, I'll just check on the comments as well. If people want to come up with ideas of how we got a man-made mound with this stone pointing directly at it and everything's supposed to be natural, I don't know, it just it just seems ridiculous to me to think someone hasn't kind of well, it's got to be deliberate, isn't it? Surely I just don't understand how it can't be. Yeah, what else we got here? Right, I've learned to take any internet search results with a grain of salt until verified the sources. Yeah, that's quite right. Always do that, Leo. Quite right. As I had to point out that I think the research we were talking about was you can use Google Earth to just check the levels of things and pictures. It's a curious thing, by the way. A lot of people doing this kind of research have discovered that the resolution seems to be turned down on Google Earth. People finding too much. What are the comments we got here while we look at the pictures? Gypsies were invited to Assyria before the 10-12 tribes arrived there. I think loads of people, you check through the histories, even the Bible, and look at the other records, Syrian records, there was loads of different peoples and races and all sorts of names in and out and moved around. We've also got the Irish migration, which came up in discussion this week, which I also want to mention, because that was the same sort of period as the Exodus, when 12 tribes go one way. According to the Chronicles of Eri, they were going the other way, west across North Africa. We'll do that another day. Anyways, is there something you want to say there, Davy? You look ready to go.
This is the alignment. Again, you can see how vertical it is.
Yes.
Lining straight up, like a rifle's iron sight, right onto the top of that man-made mound at the top of the glog. Right, we'll just press play here, and off we go.
Yeah, it's remarkably accurate, isn't it?
I'm just going to zip off towards the glow now. I've always been intrigued by this hill here.
Yeah. Good observation, yeah.
It's a lovely landscape around there. This will be Winus Weibel over here, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bull, yeah, that's it, yeah. Yeah, like as David was saying, it's unusable on the left if you're trying to get your bearings. Behind us, sort of behind the camera, if you like, is Clan 10. And then over, well, behind the glow, if you want to get, hang on, I'll just pause a second, through Graig Wen, which you'll find is at the highest point of Pontypridd, really. Just follow that road, and you will end up coming along, it must be here, I think, David, mustn't it?
A bit closer, There's the one down there. You see.
There's the one road will come past, and you will see this on your right. And well, the road kind of goes that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, and then
That's a bit strange. Yeah, the road comes this way. Yeah, the road comes that way. So you'll see this on your right. And if you follow this road all the way around to the left, eventually you'll come round to where you can't get directly to the limestone where we are now. You either have to park in Clan 10 and walk up, or you can come on this side where the motocross is and walk down. Well, it's still up, but from the other direction.
Where the road goes there, and just down here in dead ground is the no entry sign.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
No entry.
Oh, is that where the
sign.
farm is, yeah?
Yeah. And there's a lane going up.
Yeah, it's got to be that road, isn't it? Because I was just saying, I was pointing the wrong direction, because if I just grab that saying Pontypridd over that way. Yeah, the road's got to come this way. That's right. Didn't make sense otherwise, yeah. The road comes that way, so you'll see that on your right. But you can't actually get very close to the limestone. Sorry, back to you, Dave.
What's that there?
What's what, where?
That's not the Gar, is it? That hill there.
I don't think
It's
it can
very
be the
prominent.
Gar. I think
No,
the Gar's
no,
got to
it's
be
not the
further
Gar.
over to the right.
Yeah.
I should probably know, but it's towards St. Genevieve, but I don't think that actually is St. Genevieve, because again it seems too far north. But over this hill on the left is Abercannon, and that the Cannon Valley coming down, so I'm not sure. I mean, it could be if I had to guess, the big hill the other side of Pontypridd.
Should we let this run? Let the
Yeah,
people
let it
see a
run.
little
Let the
flight
people-
over to the clog?
It's a beautiful running, isn't it? This is where we professionally fade in some music now, David. You can imagine Alan Jones walking in the air now.
They can just see the road there.
Ah, yes, there we go. Yeah, better view of the road. Yeah, so if you want to do that, yeah, so if you come along, keep it running. If you come on the road, if you fork right, you go down past the farm. If you stay on the left, that will eventually take. You come straight over the fields, and of course it'd be nearer than most of the walks, wouldn't it? So it's a fabulous sight, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to pick up a couple more comments while I'm looking at this. Yeah, thank you, Robert Pierce. Legless is there. Good to see you.
Look, you're not looking at the latest comment.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit behind there. Yes, the Armenian links. We've got comments about America. Yeah, we're going to try and do that in the next couple of weeks. Talk about a bit more about the future migrations, future from this time, in the 6th century, where the Welsh gone to Kentucky area. Monica, I read in Arturius Rex discovered that J. Rees from Oxford University created master race, the upper class Victorian Empire. Yeah, I was by creating fictional or fictive Celtic gods. Yeah, this is very much that was more like last week's topic there, wasn't it? Anyway, let's look at this one. Absolutely right, yes.
That's an area that needs some investigation as well.
We should do more Joe Rogan style. Mainstream academics. I should be so lucky to get them on. Right, what were we saying there? Sorry, David.
This feature here needs some looking at.
Oh yeah, this is. I told people about this. It's not a pyramid. It's a triangle with a square, isn't it? It's strange. There's a few of them around on this. Yeah, you spot another couple of things as well, didn't you, David? Which don't look natural.
There we are, looking back at the limestones there.
Yeah, that line of trees is the clue if you're looking for it. Yeah.
This one here.
Yeah.
And just make it a little dot there. That's the limestone, and that's the. If you're looking to get there, that's the motocross area. And if you ask nicely when they're open, they'll let you park in their car park. If not, there's a couple of laybys just out on the track here. There's a bit of a rough ride down there if you haven't got a 4x4. But we saw a Porsche Boxer going down there the other day.
It's fine, wasn't it? Yeah, my old car made it. Yeah. So he sort of parked that road he showed and he's climbed up there, wasn't it? Good climb, not too far.
Drone's getting knackered now, the batteries, so it's headed back to the stone. Pity the sunlight that's over there isn't here.
Yeah.
And this square feature in the field behind the stone.
Any ideas about that then, or just observing things?
It's just showing that there's something under the surface there that's not natural, footings or something. Could be an old wall, but the field boundaries here in South Wales haven't really changed a great deal. Completely different to say Lincolnshire or Wiltshire. In the book on dry stone walling, they say that the stone walls in Wales are some of the oldest that are known about, pre-1600.
Yeah, they could be way older, isn't it? Yeah.
There you see the stone in its area, its context. Nothing else around there like it.
You know, this is the crazy thing. If it's a natural outcrop, there's not even a hint of any other stones similar. You can see it for a long way around it. Yeah.
Right, we can stop that one.
Okay. Yeah, well, thanks for all the comments. I can see people are loving the footage and everything, so we can keep going on a little bit longer, I think. Oh, the limestone, yeah, Anthony, yeah, the limestone left leg's definitely been moved. Yeah, I'll go along with that. It does look like it's lying there. If we could scan all the pieces in like you see them do these reconstructions. They do it with like broken vases and whatever. I think this would be an easy one. If anyone knows how you do that, they can scan all the bits and then try and make a 3D model of what it should look like. What else we got here? The wonder of the Lion's Stone is the direction it points to. It still points to 2, and yeah, even if the Earth's axis changes, yeah, that's not going to be affected, is it? It's always going to point there. Thank you, Benny. Amazing footage. Dean. Yep, indeed, mate. Hope people can see the comments when they watch this back. Always a welcome in the hillside. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Alan. I was last August in Glamorgan. Yeah, any more comments? Please keep firing away. Right, what are we doing now, David? Is it?
How long have we got?
Oh, we got a little bit longer, I think. Yes, we've used up the hour. We can't go too long because I know the boys will go to school tomorrow.
Remember
Desperately go to school. Go on, yes.
Some weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, there was a conversation in BHH about the White Horse of Uffington.
Oh, yeah.
I was up there yesterday evening and got some footage. If any people like to see that.
Yes, for something completely different, we go over to Uffington. Remind us where that is. Is that in Cotswolds, is it?
On the edge of between Wiltshire and Oxfordshire, just roughly that area. Southeast of Swindon, or east of Swindon.
Just down the M4.
This is known as the Giant Stairway, a rippling...
Something? Yeah, we're in England. This is England now, isn't it? I was going to I'm a bit blocked up today. Keep a welcome in the hillside. Keep a welcome in... Oh, sorry, back to you.
Give you as a context of the setting here, how high we are up on the North Wiltshire Downs.
This land of ours will still be singing.
See the chalk there? Kindly, a mountain biker and a car are doing a symmetrical meet in the middle.
Give us some...
I didn't
very
arrange
nice.
that.
Yeah, you can stay there, watch them crash.
Here we are.
Oh, there it is. Now, well, I want to point out, when we look at this, in England, the white horse, we of course do have the massive red horse in Wales, which is not so well maintained or cleaned or anything, but there is a red one in Wales. And I just pause a second. Sorry, David.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that's not a horse, right? It clearly looks more like a horse. But it just interests me that we got so many times in Welsh legend and ancient history, this idea of the red dragon and the white dragon. We got the red horse and the white horse. I know this is chalk and the other one's on some sort of red clay or something, but I don't know, I just kind of wonder if there's some tie-in or relationship there. It never seems to be the other way around. You know, you don't find the white one in Wales and the red one in England. But there we are, keep going.
There are some people saying that they think it looks like a cat.
Okay,
but
yeah.
Looking at the length of the neck and the proportion of the neck to the rest of the zoomorphic features, that's saying horse to me. Also,
yeah, the neck is a horse neck.
You can see that there could be whiskers, could also be reins. And in the books on this subject, there's lots of speculation about other shapes and objects that were part of it that have since disappeared, and all we've got is this main superstructure of the thing. I'll carry on now.
Yeah, thank you for more comments. Thank you very much. Good to see them. A lot of discussion going on the board. Always nice to see some discussion about the Saxons.
Mentioned it, looking like
the
a
cat.
cat there.
Oh, someone else mentioned the cat. Oh, yeah, you're ahead of the game, David. Oh, loads of comments tonight. Trying to keep up with them. Next chapter's being written as we speak. Of what? I missed too much, I think. Yes, we got some like 84 George Orwell quotes. Most effective way to destroy a people is remove their history. Oh. Yes, where's the red horse in Wales? I should have looked it up before we started because I can't remember off the top of my head, but we're going to be up there very soon. Another lion. Could that be a lion? I'm not sure if that's a lion, I don't think. Maybe.
The neck makes it more horse-like.
Yes, the long neck is the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Unless there's a bit missing.
Just getting Uffington Castle there, or Uffington Fort, the earthworks. Just
the hill
into
fort.
the
Yeah.
shore.
Did we get more of that? Because that's massive, isn't it?
We'll be travelling back in a minute, I think.
Excellent.
And
yeah, no one's saying cat. Okay, there we are. People are liking the cat idea.
Yeah.
Where's my cat? Never around when I need it. Come on, where's my cat? My black cat, just to keep my credentials of being a witch complete. I didn't buy a black cat. The black cat chose me. All right, So, and are these ancient paths or something at the top then, David?
Who knows? The Ridgeway is nearby, Wayland Smithy. And
this is an area
This
you
is
know
all
very well,
recent,
isn't it? You know
yeah.
these hills and their hill
Yeah.
forts and...
Dad was stationed at RAF Lynham and Rudlow Manor, and then we moved to a farm near Carlton in Wiltshire. So Avebury and this area, we're always up here.
Of course, Avebury's there. Sorry, Avebury's the big spot, isn't it? That's the most famous. That Giant's Ripple, the Giant's Causeway or Steps is fantastic, isn't it? See, we're not just talking about Wales. Oh, look at that! Yeah.
Completely flat. The top of that. We'll see that in a minute.
And it seems to have a big stone on the top as well, isn't it?
That's chalk again. The chalk under the turf, just like the original White Horse, where the turf was chopped away, and the modern test to see how long sunlight has been falling on the chalk, where they measured, where they able to prove that it has been there for around 3,000 years.
Wow.
2,500 to 3 years. Unlike a few of the other horses, like the Cheryl Down horse, that's 18th century. I think the what's the name? The Sir Nabas Giant. That's not as old as people thought either.
Someone mentioned here possible unicorn. It is a bit of a horn coming out the top of the horse's head, isn't it? Front of the mouth. Oh, weird, aren't they?
It's like a snake tongue.
It is like a snake tongue. Thank you, Arnie. Yeah, perhaps they are. That's just a dragon after all. I don't know. Do you know if there's a chance if there's any more of it that's now hidden that we can't see?
According to researchers, various books on it, there's a few other shapes, parts missing. But when you look at this, I think in the next shot, the next clip, we go down closer to it, you can see that there doesn't seem to be anything missing.
Because the quarters, I think they call them, isn't it? We got the big muscles here and then the thickness of the neck, and that would really make it like a horse. As opposed to another animal where the quarters would come up to here, wouldn't they?
If that was a cat,
Because it could be but a cat, if there's perspective, it depends on the angle.
I think the head would be a lot closer to the main body. That's the only one we've got put in this thing. I'll have to...
Yeah. Well, we're going to do more in the week anyway. David's come down. We're going to make some videos we can... we'll put all the references with them, put some funky music. What are we looking for? You going to give another one? David's a giving... Tell yourself, mate. That's it. Wow, look at that lot. So we got loads and loads and loads to share, and we're going up tomorrow to get some more. Just trying to think up to suggestions, really. What do we do with all this? I mean, put it on the channel, I suppose, isn't it? And there we go.
Here you can see the horse at the top of the hill. There's Uffington Castle, where its entrance is just about here. I think a lot of researchers say there's no connection between the horse and the castle. They're two completely different eras. Right. But from this angle you can see how the horse, cat, lion, dog seems to be running up this ridgeway here. It's a beautiful pathway to walk along there. Don't know what that is.
Would that path go anywhere near the fort as well, do you think?
It's not a great distance there, 100 metres, 150 metres. You can park just around here, walk up to the fork and walk over to the back of the horse. You're not allowed to walk on the horse anymore. It's been roped off because of erosion and too many people going up there since the slacking of lockdown.
Well, we've got one more bit of film to finish, you think? Or
I'll find one. Yeah, spur right.
And for those who are asking in the week, I know the other site we did, of course, last weekend is all to do with the finding of the burial site of King Arthur. And looking at the old burial mounds up in... he did put that in the ground, yes. Yeah, we bought that in Caerleon, didn't you? I was there when you bought that.
Yeah. That's going to be the image for the Hair of Myneth Gare.
The Hair of Myneth Gare is going to be David's new channel about all these videos about hills and forts and amazing things you can see. Lots of drone footage. Looking forward to that. I was going to say, the other thing we're looking at then, obviously, is up Myneth Gare, or Myneth Gare, and there you've got looking for the burial place of King Arthur, but there's also the burial sites of other kings are up there. Meiring's a controversial one. So on the one hand, you've got him being at Llandaff. I think that's why you're doing your searching. I'll just put that on there. And then we've got that whole area, really, looking at the boat-shaped mounds. The whole thing really seems to come to life and makes a lot more sense once you've got the drone footage. Well, it's frozen on my computer. I hope everyone else is okay. Are we alright? Oh, sorry, back over to David.
I was just looking back from the White Horse.
Sorry, do you want to go back to the beginning? Sorry, I took it off screen just for a second. That was my mistake while you were looking for it. Yep, okay. Oh, another angle, yes.
All good now, Daddy.
Yep, cool. Alright, we're moving again. I think my internet's struggling because of everyone online and things going out and in and whatever. We managed to prioritise the transmission thing. What's this big hole there, then?
I haven't been able to find anything else out about this mound here, but it's
a fantastic
the
mound.
flat top and its position. You think all these things are connected, wouldn't you?
Yeah, with that white thing in the middle.
Yeah.
I haven't noticed there's any drainage sumps in any of these.
Because
that would imply they haven't got a chamber, isn't it?
There's nothing buried there. It's all
nothing buried. Yeah. See, that's the difference. It's worth looking at. A lot of mounds, if there's nothing buried, you don't need a drainage sump. So if you've got a hill fort, for example, I wouldn't think you need a drainage sump. But if you're burying anything at all, then you will. Whether it's a person's body, some bones, some treasure, anything. Right, hang on a second. Okay, let's just catch up on the... When you're ready to go, David, just press that 2, alright? Right, just catching up on some of this there. Right, we're going to have to call it a day in a minute. Oh, whoop. You want to go with that? Yeah, okay, carry on talking. Patricia, can you please do the same viewing of the Red Horse, David? Yes, we're going to try and track that down. Anything for you, Patricia. Save my neck with Trojan War. No, it's on our list. We were talking about it earlier today, weren't we? I see to double check where it is again. It's not as well preserved, but it is definitely still visible. That's a great shot. I tell you what, that's the best shot I've seen of that horse.
Rushed through all the footage from yesterday looking for something relevant. I forgot to name the ones that are successful. I hope this is the one where we go down really close to the chalk and you can see the contours of the horse. You can see that it's been there a really long time, the way the soil and the turfs have built up around it.
Yeah, this looks like a zoom in. It's a 4-minute video, so it's got to go somewhere, isn't it?
Yeah, but it could also be the battery getting tired and wanting to go home.
Yeah, sorry, the video froze. Yeah, so it's hopefully okay again now. What happened there? Flat top mound is a viewing location of the horse. Sorry, what do you mean by that, Hugh? Do you mean it's a place to see a good place to see the horse, or
you can hardly see the horse from that viewing location? All you get is a very, very the top of a white bar along the top of the hill. You can't see that it's a horse.
You're not high enough, are you?
No. It's quite a way lower than the horse. Here you're starting to see
people
how
even
it's
less.
embedded. Just need a little bit more shadow there.
All right, we're really zooming in now. Yes, yes. And I will call it a day. In the last 5 minutes, for those wondering, it's a Sunday evening. People have things to do, and we will be putting these into videos, which will also be going up, including the ones at Myneth Gare, St. Peter's Church, all that kind of stuff. See, it looks so different when you get nearer, doesn't it? You need that height. How did they know to get the proportions so perfectly? It's a beautiful piece of work. I've drawn this just for exercise and for fun. And if you don't get the ratios absolutely right, it just looks ugly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing. You get the legs too long or too short. It only works the way they've drawn it. It's beautiful.
You can see it's no longer the original chalk base. It's like chalk rubble has been put over the top of it. in all the preservation screening of it. It used to be an annual event where the landowner would pay the locals to go up and clean it and hold a party and get everybody drunk after they'd done the
Oh,
work.
fantastic.
In the 17th
Payment
and
being half a
18th
flag and a
century.
cider each or something, yeah? So what, does anyone clean it now then, or?
The National Trust now, I think it's their responsibility.
So you know what that involves, the cleaning?
Re-chalking, or
Or just weeding it sort of thing, is it?
weeding it and putting another layer of chalk on top. A couple of brands there. You can see it's well embedded. It's like in a trench with a ridge around it. You can see that there. I think we haven't got much shadow.
Well, there we go. Thank you very much, Darby. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And I'm looking forward to putting more of this together over the next few days. We'll start bringing the show to an end now. And one thing I wanted to mention, sorry, Monica, it's kind of running a bit late, but I would like people just to have a look at John D. I mentioned we do this. We'll do this properly next week. It is interesting. And his son called Arthur. John D was a cartographer and advisor. I think it was Elizabeth I. And this all ties in with potential migrations of Cymru to America. So that's why we know the name John D. But his son was also called Arthur, and there's a lot more to look into the story. So I won't go into too much now because we've already done almost an hour and a half. But please, thank you for that, Monica. And I'd like people to have a look themselves over the next week, and maybe we'll cover that. And the plan next week is to look. Is there something you want to say on that one, David? Or is there anything you want to mention particularly?
No.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were trying to say something. Thank you, fantastic show. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking a bit tired. It's because it was my birthday last week, and it's my cousin Neil, his birthday next week. So happy birthday, Pembloedd Hapus, see Neil, and Arnie's birthday in a couple of weeks. So we sort of had a double or triple birthday. It was great. We had guys with, well, only a few of us there, obviously social distancing. One of the people though is a bit of an expert at spinning fireballs, and I am such a lightweight these days. It was terrible. I think I wasn't like I got hammered or anything. I was quite drunk. I had 2 beers and a glass of champagne, and I felt it all day. Hope we can have one more look at that, are we? We're going to go out anyway, so thank you very much everyone for bearing with me. A bit slow. And I seem to have picked up a reaction to something. It's lavender. I have an allergy to lavender. This is like my kryptonite. If you want to nobble me, puts lavender near me. It goes crazy. So it's great anyway. I was having a discussion about our Finky Stinger thinks it's a giraffe now. Yeah, right, okay. People online, again, it's another record this week. It's growing every week. Please, please, please help us to get a few more subscribers in. We're so close now to 1,000. And we got a special episode all lined up when we get to 1,000 subscribers. When I looked earlier today, it was 928. So if everybody just drag a few friends in, and now this feature's become available and we can do more stuff. Like, for example, if you look at the videos, they're nicely sorted into categories now, which I think you have to have 750 subscribers for. So that looks a lot better. There's all sorts of stuff we can do, and it'd be great. I didn't feel as though the presentation earlier about the journey of the Ark. I could have done that better, I believe. And I think I'll do another video on that at some point. Maybe mapping it out nicely and things like that. The trouble is, it's a really long story. And I really just want to get across the point that we can follow us all back. Oh, there's us, me and my boys, look. And there's Tim and there's Ruth.
I'm not good.
No Arnie on that one, no. Leon and Zavi. And we're coming into land on there. Thank you for letting me know there, David. And there it is from the other side. And there's the field. And you got the gate, that top corner. And then I can see, climb down the slope. That takes you past the motorcycle cross. So I hope everyone enjoyed that. What's that? I think he said last week. What's that? Are we going back to cat? Alright, cat or horse, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Raw! Yes, it's a raw. This is definitely a line anyway. Although, it did used to be known as the elephant stone. But I think it's, well, not like an elephant to me anyway. But there you go. Each their own. It's very hard to be certain about any of these things, isn't it? We're on the lion now. People of Judea. So there you have it. Well, thank you very much, David. And thank you, Arnie. Try this new setup. You want to say goodbye or hello?
How do
Great.
you think the limestone is? Oh.
How old do you think the limestone is? Well, I think it'd be... If the migration was 500 BC, less than that. So less than 2,500 years. I don't know. It'd be a guess beyond that, wouldn't it? I would have thought. Any ideas, David? No. Don't like guessing too much.
No idea.
If I'm forced to guess, I would say they're probably here 100 or 200 years maybe before they put that up. But then again, it must be much more recent. And I'm not going to, well, let's say maximum, like Patricia says, 2,500 years would be the maximum. I don't see how it could be older than that. But I'm not pinning my colours to any particular year or anything. But what you tend to find happens in dealing with all this kind of stuff is if you get, so we have to be so careful about what we claim and what we stick ourselves to, is that if anything's shown to be slightly out, people who mock this kind of research will throw the whole thing out. So let's just be careful with that, right? That's supposition as opposed to fact. Fact there's a stone there. Fact there's a mound there. Fact that the mentions in the Bible match them out. The rest is kind of, let's try to put things together. Alright, okay, so thank you everybody. Just trying to think how we get the music done without taking as the lion thing finished. Alright, over to me. Oh, hang on a second. Come on, fire it up. Ah, he's good, isn't he, eh? I don't know why we keep getting this picture of me frozen on the screen. What's that about? Any idea? Alright, let's put the closing caps up. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll have some videos up in the weekend. All Star Trojan War is with the printers, okay? So I've got that heavyweight dragging me down the whole time. And till the next time, yep. We'll see you next time. And I shall leave this running about 5-10 minutes just so you can finish off conversations on the comments. It's always good to see them. And then until next time, Heather! I'm waving and no one can see me.
Lone Star Leo.
Lone Star Leo, is there any organisation in charge of protecting the Lion Stone from further decay destruction? Well, they delisted it, sorry. It was scheduled monument, I think, I don't know, 70s or so, wasn't it? They decided it's a natural outcrop, so...
Thank you, Moni.
That's why we have to record these things, isn't it?
Thanks, Moni. No star.
Yep, let David and Monica get a chance to talk, there we go, which is good. Yeah, I want to put that map up. Thank you, David. Whoa, aren't you not slow, mate? God, youngsters with their loud music. I think about 12's enough, aren't you? Deafened people. Oh, right, you can... Okay, alright, can you hear me as well? Alright, hats off to Alan and Barham. Yes, as always. And again, just a reminder, I have those two lovely new computers to take up to them. And they are going to go up on their way next couple of weeks. God, that's loud. I sound like an old man, right? With those parents. Pardon?
There's mini Volvo comments. It's just gone off.
Oh, one of these will call, so let's look. God bless all of us, yes. The Kimmerai of Assyria, Raisha, Troy, Lemnos, Crimea, Brithon. That's it. Right. This is weird. I'm seeing the comments still on here. We should be seeing that. I think something's right, our microphone's out. No? No, these headphones have come out. Oh, the headphones come out. Why aren't we seeing that? That's what I don't understand. Oh yeah, I put a picture of the glog up, that's why, yeah. Yes, and the music by Baron Black and McCourse, and that album will be available soon. That's the other thing I'm going to do is collect some of those from Baron. He's got a box of them, nicely packaged up, nice CDs. So I'll make sure I got them in my sweaty mitts before I start taking orders. So enjoy the rest of the album. I'm going to leave you to it, and I'm going to get some sleep now on. School tomorrow. Yay! 7 months home. Right, so I unplug my microphone now before I start rambling on again. Lost I he.
But what is the use? Dying like a fool. Would they give me?
As Auntie Mitchell says, wonderful comments, great crowd of people. It's a joy doing this. You get so many messages of encouragement all through the week. Every week, it's great. It's like We got plenty of knockers now out there, but nothing compared to the love and support and good feeling. I want to do want to ask, please, can you send me any messages, cards you made? I mean, I know Monica last year made a card and emailed it through, and I printed off and gave it to Barham and Alan. So anything like that, just to let them feel the love, because they are quite isolated where they are in their house, alright? So please, if you got any, thanks.
That's the only way. I feel tired. Curious, carrot-eyed, curious. Guts foaming, smoking trash. Sleeping in no quiet. Being gravity could not reach me. Was it class to fight? But what's the syllable? Would it set my soul? Brashness counts a lot. For what calendars could I keep? I took